What's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Headshot and thank you guys for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about two very popular pistols in the concealed carry market, concealed carry realm. We got the P365 over here on our left and the Glock 43X on the right. So this is going to be a fun video. We're going to cover a lot. There's going to be some things that I don't cover because I've reviewed both of these guns already. So if you want to check out those other reviews, you can do that. Less shooting in these videos, but we are going to talk about it all. How they carry, how they shoot, pros and cons of each. So let's go ahead and get into it. Sig P365. This has been out for a while now, a little bit over a year. Let's talk about some of the basic specs here really quick. On the 365, you have a 3.1 inch barrel. Overall length is 5.8 inches. The width is right at an inch. All right. And the height is 4.3 inches. And the dry weight on this one is 17.8 ounces. On the Glock 43X, new Slimline series Glock, barrel length 4.1 inches, overall length 7.2 inches, width 1.1 inches, height 5.0 inches. And the dry weight on this one is 18.7 ounces. That's all well and good, but let's show them slide to slide, side by side. And you can tell the Glock 43 is a little bit longer. Not that it means much in our application. Shooting wise, a little bit more velocity, better sight radius, things like that. But concealed carry wise, that's not going to make a huge difference. Maybe if you carry appendix, I don't know. Width, all right. On paper, the Sig is a little bit thinner, actually, 1/10 of an inch. Here is the dimension that matters. All right, you see that? An entire inch worth of difference. Well, no, not quite an inch. Okay, well, 7/10 of an inch. This makes all the difference when you're carrying inside the waistband. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but just so you see, the Glock is a bigger gun all the way around. All right, both guns come with 10-round mags, two 10-round mags. The Glock gives you a little bit of a different setup. You have a flat base plate here, and then you have an extended base plate here. So even if we compare the two with the extended, you can tell it's just a huge difference all the way around. Glock 43X, it just has two 10-round mags. Now here's where the big difference is in the grip length. The magazine, all right? The 365 was designed around the magazine. Magazine first, then the gun. And then they put patents on this, which was really smart. So people can't just copy this design. And what you have is like this, they call it something. It's like a taper of some sort. But the point being, they have this really sharp taper here. And then you almost have like almost like a double stack at the bottom. But it just allows them to get a lot of rounds in there with a very short grip. On the other hand, you have the Glock. It's just a straight single stack kind of setup, but thicker than a single stack, if that makes any sense. I have an example of that right here. 1911 mag. This is a true single stack, and you can see how much wider the Glock mag is than a true single stack. All right, so a little bit weird, a little bit odd in design, but this is where the money is in the P365. All right, that's why you have such a big difference there. But there's other things to consider. And by the way, there are 12-round mags for the P365. Makes it a little bit longer, of course, but you do have that option. What about features? Going all the way around the guns. Let's start with the Glock this time. Front and rear slide serrations. Squared off trigger guard. You have a high undercut in the frame. Compare that to the P365. The Glock does a great job of getting a undercut, a deep undercut, so you can get your hand really high up there and it feels really good. Their rough texture finish that they've carried over pretty much from the Gen 4. Little pyramids on the grip there. It's a really nice balance at the range. When you're shooting, it's not tearing your hands up, and when you're carrying the gun, it's not going to tear your skin up, which I really do like that. It's a little bit slick at times, but you can fix that really easily with some grip tape or Talon grips or something like that. And then, of course, your magazine and the way they kind of beveled this here to meet the magazine. I'm sure there was other reasons, but and then the back, you know, your back strap. You only have one options on the Slimline series, just like the 43 and the 42. There's no additional back strap options that you can get on the gun. I opted for the Glock night sights. I actually bought this one from Sportsman's Guide. using my own discount code, by the way, because I am not afraid to do that. But Glock night sight straight from the factory, because I didn't want that to be even an issue. All right, and this one was $4.99, and the Sig was $4.99 as well. So they are right in line with each other as far as pricing, which is a good thing. And then on the left-hand side of the gun, you do have the provision, so you can swap your magazine release to the left-hand side if you're a left-handed shooter. No slide stop or anything like that. Takedown notches, of course. All right, made in Austria. Our American-made Sig here. If we flip it around, this one actually comes with the X-ray night sights. This was a part of the rolling changes they did in the beginning when people were having issues with these guns. And it's a great upgrade. These are the same sights that come on the Sig Legion series, and absolutely love them. If I could have them on every one of my pistols, I would, because they're just that good. Coming around to this side of the gun, front and rear slide serrations, of course, external extractor. You can swap your magazine release on this gun as well. And they actually have a proprietary rail system. And I did see I think they have a new one coming out. It's like the 365 Lima, and it's going to come with a laser. I think they have a red and a green option coming out, which is pretty cool. So there is a rail system on this gun, and compared to the Glock, no rail. Does that mean much on a small gun like this? To me, it doesn't, but to some people it may. Front and rear slide serrations, I think we talked about that. Takedown lever, slide stop. Magazine release is kind of contoured to the grip frame into the trigger guard a little bit. So it looks like it would be kind of odd, but it's really not that bad to get to. That's one thing I did want to point out here. All right, especially with this magazine on the Sig, these mags do not pop out easily. All right, that one's a little bit better, just kind of poops out there. On the Glock, all right, they pop out much freer than most Glocks, which is surprising because you have polymer on polymer, but these actually pop out a lot better. I wouldn't say good, because both of them are kind of sluggish in getting out of there, but they both do the job. All right, more features on the Sig here. Slight finger grooves in the front. They took that away on the Glock, just like with the Gen 5s, which in my opinion is a good thing. And then grip texturing. All right, very aggressive. Very nice at the range. Inside the waistband, you want a shirt between your skin and this, because it will let you know that it's there. Again, no provisions for back straps or anything like that. It kind of is what it is, unless you add some Talon grips or something like that. But all the way around, I would rather have a grip texture like this, where it's more aggressive than less, just because with a small gun like this, you want the best purchase you can get, and you want that gun to stay in your hand. Viewport right there, so you can see your brass down in the chamber. Dovetailed sights, front and rear. And on the Glock, of course, the front sight is a screw, and then the rear is dovetailed in. All right, plenty of options for sights, especially on the Glock. You can find them for the Sig as well, but I wouldn't do it, because these are just that good. All right, so let's do the breakdown. Then we'll go to the range for a little while. When we come back, we'll talk about the triggers, pros and cons, and our favorite, and we're also going to talk about how they carry as well. So breakdown here really quick. All right, make sure you're clear. Rotate your lever down on the Sig. Comes right off. Don't have to pull the trigger. Not going to break these all the way down. We do that in the review. But you have a dual captive recoil spring that is metal, and then trigger assembly and all that good stuff on the Glock. Seen this a million times. I'm going to show you 1,000,001. Right there, dual captive recoil spring on the Glock, and it's polymer internals. All right, put them back together, really easy. Let's look at one thing here I did want to look at. Notice the rails here on the Sig compared to the Glock. All right, but overall, pretty similar. Let's put this back together real quick. Oh. And you got to do this the right way. All right, that is a requirement, and I did not. All right, let's try this again. There we go. And on the Sig, one little thing you're going to want to do is push up on the slide stop Rotate this down so it gets back into the position that it needs to be. Lock it back. Rotate that up. Good to go. All right. So let's go to the range, and then we'll talk about some of the concealed carry things. We'll talk about the triggers, how they shoot, all of that good stuff. We will see you guys in just a minute. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, we did a lot more shooting in the actual reviews of these guns. But as far as the way they shoot, man, it's really, they really are very different. All right, I think the Glock is a little bit more controllable, a little bit easier to shoot. But again, you have a little bit longer of a grip. All right, I have a full grip on this gun compared to the Sig. I almost have a full grip, but not quite. All right, a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, a little bit more recoil. It's just a little bit littler all the way around. I mean, it's just these little things make a big difference. But overall, the Sig is not a bad shooter. Don't get me wrong. I think the Glock's a little bit better at the range, but that comes with the price. All right. What about the triggers? Let's make sure they're clear. Once again, the Sig has a fantastic trigger. I'm going to just tell you that right now. 5 pounds, 14 ounces. It doesn't even feel close to 6 pounds, I'll be honest with you. All right, 5 pounds, 15 ounces. Show you what that looks like. No dingus or anything like that. A little bit of a take up. And it breaks. There's a little bit of creep in the trigger. Reset. A little bit of creep. And it breaks. Nice trigger on the Sig. What about on the Glock? All right, it does have a dingus there. All right, there are internal safeties on both, by the way, no external. A little bit of creep and a little bit heavier snap there. There you go. All right. And I'll be honest with you, there was a time when I was shooting this gun pretty quickly and my group was way better with the Sig than the Glock. All right. So, I say the Glock shoots better, but this gun is no slouch out the range. I will tell you that right now. What about the trigger weight on the Glock? Let's try that out. 5 pounds, 13 ounces. 6 pounds, 2 ounces. Kind of got a little wonky there. The way these triggers are shaped on the Glocks, it makes it really hard to pull them. 5 pound, 9 ounces. So they are roughly the same pound-wise. And what I would say is if you're on the fence about either one of these guns, try to find you a range that can rent them to you. And that way you can get a better idea of how the guns shoot in your hands. All right? When you run hollow points or you're running other types of ammo through it, it's going to make a little bit of a difference, obviously, with recoil and all of that kind of stuff. But both guns shoot really good. This one just feels so good in the hand. It's so small. I mean, I have small hands, guys. It's so small, yet so perfect in a way. There's the Glock, all right, for comparison. All right, it really is incredible what they did with this gun. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, because the Sig had some issues coming out of the gate, some really serious ones. We talked about that in the 1,000-round update for this gun, so you can check that video out too. I'm asking you to check out all of our videos, by the way. But this gun had some issues, but mine has not. All right, so mine has been flawless, man, and I can only tell you what I know about my gun. I believe other people. They're showing it on camera, and I know people have had issues, and Sig has come out and made some changes to the gun. So obviously there's been some issues, but as far as what I'm seeing now, no issues. All right, and that's why a lot of people tend to wait on first-gen brand new designs, because they want those bugs to get worked out. On our hand, we want to be able to get them in our hands early, see if there's any bugs, and report that to you guys. But I haven't had any issues, and Mrs. Headshot has actually been carrying this gun the past month or so. This has been my carry gun. I've had this since January, late January, early February, and I've been carrying this gun, and I don't like it. Now, we've been carrying inside the waistband, holster, of course. That's the holster we like. Carrying this on me is just, I mean, really, it is almost like carrying nothing. For a 9mm, 10 capacity, 10 shotgun, 10 plus 1 in the chamber, that gun is awesome to carry. This gun, the grip is just too long, man. For what you're getting right here, the same grip length as a Glock 19, with 5 less rounds. Of course, it's thinner and lighter and all that kind of stuff, but hiding this grip, man, I even have an issue trying to do that. Now, if you carry appendix or something like that, you may have better luck trying to carry this gun. But inside the waistband, this gun just is not as good, not nearly as good as the 365. But one thing about it is the Glock 43X, as far as I know, no major issues have been reported with this gun, and that's something you can expect from Glock, because they are typically on top of it when it comes to reliability. So definitely give them credit there. What about pros and cons? Let's go ahead and get into it. P365, the size, weight, capacity ratio, they have the Glock beat, especially with this grip length. A little bit of extra weight, I can take that. A little bit of extra barrel length, I can take that. But the grip length makes all the difference in this gun. Fantastic job. Sights, love the X-ray sights, man. You pick up that green dot so easily in the daytime, and the night sights are really good as well. The nitron finish looks really nice. Front and rear slide serrations. I don't use the front slide serrations, but I appreciate them being there. They at least make the gun look pretty good. The grip texturing, I think, is more of a pro than a con, even though it will tear your skin up. I can assure you that. It's just really nice, really good. Love the way this gun feels in the hand. It's just an awesome gun. Glock, this one's got some good features as well. Front and rear slide serrations, I like that. I like the fact that they did a two-tone design to kind of separate it from what they've been doing. You know, it's typically, when it first comes out of the gate, any new Glock is going to be all black, and then they'll start dropping battlefield greens and ODs and all this kind of stuff. You know, they came right out of the gate and said, hey, this gun is different to us, and we're going to release a two-tone version, and I think it looks good. The Glock night sights are actually really nice. I like them. All right, first time I've ever really used them. They have a nice sight picture there, and like I said, the gun shoots great. Capacity is good, but that leads us into the negative part of the gun, which is its grip length. I mean, I just don't know that there's going to be enough people out there that say are going to be willing to deal with a 10-round gun that has the same grip length as a 19. All right, I just don't know that there's many people that are going to do that. All right, so that's the biggest gripe I have with this gun. All right, also no left-handed provision shooters, but neither does the Sig. Sig doesn't have that either. You know, it's one of those things. This grip is just way too long, and I'm not convinced that this is an answer to the 365. There's going to be plenty of people that buy this gun, I'm sure, but to me, there's just, in my arsenal, you know, in my setup, there's no place for this gun. And to be honest with you, I'm probably going to sell it. Once we get done comparing it to everything we want to compare it to, I'm not there with it. And this magazine, Sig putting a patent on this magazine and follower, base plate, the whole deal, is what's going to keep the 365 around for a long time. And a lot of people are going to be carrying this gun because of that, because it is such a small package. It's not without its faults, all right? Obviously, you have the reliability issues right out of the gate. I mean, that, although it's not a fault on my specific gun, looking at it from a whole, that was definitely a big issue. Fortunately, they've addressed it through multiple generations, you know, as some people have called it. The grip texturing, probably the biggest one. All right, when you're carrying this IWB, if you don't have an undershirt, I can promise you're going to notice that it's there. All right, and it's a concealed carry gun, so you kind of want it to be comfortable, and it is, as long as you have an undershirt or maybe some, you know, Talon grips that are rubberized or something like that to kind of, you know, make it a little bit easier on your skin. But and now when we first got this gun, when we first started shooting it, the sights, we had to kind of learn how to shoot this gun because the front sight, we keep it not straight across the top, but a little bit raised, you know, little things like that. Overall, that's pretty much it. I mean, guys, this, if you haven't figured it out by now, I think the 365 is a much better option. The magazine is what makes this gun, and since they've got the issues hashed out, from what it seems, I think we did have one issue, a light primer strike early on, but overall, I trust this gun, and it's just been nothing short of fantastic. Now, if something changes in the future, will I report that? Of course I will. All right, but as of right now, this gun, to me, is a much better option than the Glock 43X. All right, so that's it. I want to know what your opinion is down in the comments below. Do you think the 43X is better, or do you think the 365? We think the 365 is better, so let me know your thoughts down below. And please, if you are a Power Patron or any of our Patreons, first of all, we love you guys and thank you for your support. If you like to support our channel, please follow that link down below. And if you're a Power Patron, look for your name coming up right after this. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.